Hi, students. Welcome to the Educator Guide. My name is Tavienne. I'll be guiding you through. So the first thing you want to do to use Educator is go to educator.app, or you can look up Educator in Google. I'm in a different country right now, so my results are going to look a little bit funny. So I'm going to swap over to English and then accept all. And it will be one of the first links. So this is spelled wrong, but it's Educator. And so then you're going to click the sign up button in that top right. You're going to type in your details. So I'm Tavienne, last name is Milner. And then you are going to type in your school email. That's how your instructor is going to invite you to the course. But I am just going to type in my personal email for now. And then whatever super secret password. Okay, cool. So I'm going to sign up. And then from there, I think you will have to verify your email. So I'm going to check that I get an email. Okay, cool. And so just go ahead and verify your email. And then we can go ahead and let you in to Educator. So this is like your main screen dashboard. And here you'll see your courses you're enrolled in current courses, your past courses, and then invitations. So you'll have an invitation for whatever courses you need to take. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this course, and then it's going to pop up in my current courses tab. Cool. So I am going to go ahead and click in to this course. Okay, so on the sidebar, the courses tab up here is where we just were. Home will always be like this overview of the course. So all the cool stuff we're gonna learn. And then content is another way to view the overview. It's like a condensed version of it. So instead of like this, the way on the middle of the screen, you can see it's like drop down tabs. And then the exam tab will host your future exams. And then grades is where you can check how many problems you've actually completed. So I'm gonna go here, 0 completed, 0 started, and then 82 not started. And you can see like the module breakdown. Okay, so let's go back to home and see some educator content. So educator content is organized into modules. So either within a module, there are lessons and coding problems. So module 1, getting started, module 2, computing and Python foundations, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to click into the first lesson of the first course. Cool. So the 3 symbols up top, we have lines, which is something you're going to read, and there could be like a multiple choice thing. The computer is where you're actually going to code. And then this right arrow button is going to take you to the next module. So you can click over to the next module. You'll see in the upper left-hand corner that it says module 2.1. So I'm going to head back to the first module, and we're going to read a little bit of content. So what is Edugator? Edugator is a platform that allows you to learn computing concepts using a hands-on approach. The platform offers interactive lessons and coding problems that provide you real-time, immediate feedback. Cool. So I'm excited to learn computer science using a hands-on approach. I hope so. So let's begin. Nice. So I'm going to click this first computer. Okay, let's go ahead and read the problem. Displaying output, hello world. So we're going to try to understand how we compare our program's output on Edugator. To match your output to the expected output, you have to display your program results using print statements. So to print the current year, we could do this print statement right there. And you'll notice we have this end equal to quotation, quotation. So that's because by default, Python adds a new line at the end of all print statements. So this end equal quotation, quotation removes the new line. So we're going to get an exact case and white space sensitive match. And then here is an example, a little bit more of an example of Python. And then here's our actual problem. So our practice is going to be printing a Python program that prints hello world to the console. So if you are not learning Python and you're in a different language like C++ or Java, there will be a function that we provide for you. Make sure that your code is in that function. So let's go ahead and write our code. It's just going to be print and then hello world. Remember, be very specific with what we're telling you to print, just because it is case and white space sensitive. So this will not pass. This will not pass. It has to be exact. So be careful with that. And then one more thing we have to do is this print statement will have a new line at the end of it, or a return by default. So we're just going to say end equal to quotation, quotation. And then we can go ahead and test our code. So when we test it, we'll see that the output is hello world. So this is what's printing to the console. So after that, we can go ahead and submit our code. Cool. So we got 100%. But then we could also just delete this end. And you'll see that we're not going to pass the test, right? And we can view why we didn't. And we can see match extra missing. Okay, the hint is that make sure you don't add extra white space or new lines. So that should be enough to tell you, oh no, maybe we need a little end equal to quotation, quotation here. So we're going to resubmit that. And you'll see also that we can see the submission history. So you can filter this to see submissions only, runs only, which is when you test the code, or just all. So you can see all of your past submissions here. And then we're going to use the AI assistant, which is like your programming buddy, in the next problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on the next computer. Cool. And so the problem is reading input. So to read input into your program, you can read data using the built-in function called input. So we call it as so, a equal to input, parentheses, parentheses. So by default, all data read from input will be a string. So you're probably going to need to convert this input into a number using the int function if you intend to apply integer operations. So the technique requires inputs to the program to be separated by a new line as such. So 1 on one line and then 2 on the next. If the inputs to the program are separated by a white space, then you can use this split function onto your input call. So this technique reads the 1, 2 as a line using input and then splits it using the split, where space is your separation or delimiter. So our problem is to create a Python program that accepts 2 integers from a user and displays the sum of these 2 integers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 variables and make them equal to input. So assign them to input. And we're going to say first user input equal to input. And then second user input equal to input. Okay. So now we want to print the sum of these 2 integers. So we will do print int first user input plus int second user input. Oh, my tab didn't work as I wanted it to. Okay, there we go. So now we are going to test our code. We get 3. Okay, so what is this based on? What is the 3 based on, right? So when we test code, it's actually taking input from this std_in tab. So we're going to click over there in the testing box. You'll see that we were provided with 1 and 2. So if we change the input to say like 3 and 4, remember, separated on new lines, and we test code again, we're going to get 7 because 3 plus 4 is 7. So we can go ahead and submit this and see that, okay, this is important, right? It has to be an exact match. So no new line, right? Displays the sum of these 2 integers. So I'm probably going to need to do int first user input plus int second user input and end equal to quotation, quotation. So let's try and submit that and see what happens. Okay, so just good habit, put end equal quotation, quotation at the end of all of your print statements. So if, for instance, you had an issue with this problem, right? And let's say it was something like, oh, I forgot to cast these variables, right? So if I add first user input plus second user input, let's just test it real quick. And remember, my std_in is 3 and 4 right now. If I test that, my output becomes 34. So why is that? That's because first user input and second user input are strings. So technically, when you have a string plus another string, that's string concatenation. So you're just slapping the string 3 and slapping the string 4 together, right? So if I was having this issue and I was like really beating my head against a wall and like maybe it's like 11 p.m. or something and I don't have access to like any tutoring help or a TA, please talk to your TAs. We're so lonely. We want our students to come talk to us in office hours, but I get it. If it's late at night, we can head over to the AI assistant. So, hi, I'm Bloom. I have access to your code in the editor, but I'm not aware of the problem statement or the test cases so that you can learn to ask questions for me. How can I help you? So we'll say that I'm trying to read input from the user, trying to read integer inputs from the user and calculate the sum. Okay. However, I'm getting 34 when I put in 3, then 4 when I need to get 7. Okay. So Bloom has access to your code editor, so it'll see what you're doing. And Bloom has responded that it looks like the issue is that you're reading the inputs as strings. So when you concatenate them with plus, it combines them instead of adding them as numbers. To get the sum, you'll need to convert the inputs to integers using int. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask. So an important thing about Bloom is that it's not going to give you code. So even if I ask like, can I see an example of the int function? Should tell us that it can't. Yeah, so it can't provide code examples, but it can explain. So the int function is used to convert a string or another number type into an integer. For instance, if you have a string like 3, using int3, we'll convert it to the integer 3. So this is a pretty good hint at what you need to do. So you could do what I did and place the int around the user input with the print variable, or you could put int around the input call, like so. So either of these will work. And let's retest the code. So remember, my stdin is 3 and 4, and I get 7 once again. Cool. So now I'm going to submit my code, and it still works. So multiple ways of doing the same thing in Python. Pretty cool. That concludes this guide, and I wish you success in your course and on Edugator. Bye.